right, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm going to give you some organ music meditations this afternoon, but before I do that, I kind of wanted to explain a little bit about the organ. We hear this instrument every weekend when we're at Mass, but we may not know exactly how it works or how it's set up and things like that. And you know that I am a teacher at heart, so I love to explain how things work. So I kind of give you a little brief overview of the organ and how we crazy people who learn how to play this actually play it. So I'm going to flip the camera back around. So we're all familiar with the piano, and the piano has 88 keys. The organ has, at minimum, 2 manuals, okay, and these are called manuals. So this is the first manual and then the second manual. The top one is called the swell, and then the bottom is called the great, because it's the great is the louder of the two of them. And then we also have foot pedals. So not only do we have to play with our hands, but we also have to play with our feet, because why not? Let's make it more complicated. It's fun. And so then you'll see up here, we have all of these toggle switches. Now, depending on the style of organ, there will be different things. They might be pull out. You might have actual stops that you pull out. Ours is electronically controlled, even though it is, of course, a real pipe organ. And what these do is these open up or send a signal to play a certain set of pipes, which is called a rank. All right, so I'm going to press this one. This is Holzgedacht, which is a type of flute. And it says 8 foot, so they're divided into different ranks based on how tall the largest pipe is. So the largest pipe in that rank is roughly 8 feet. And if I were to play the lowest note, that 8-foot pipe is sounding, okay? And then if I go up an octave, it becomes 4. That's a 4-foot pipe. 2, 1, half a foot, and a quarter of a foot. And so if we throw on a 4-foot as well, another flute, then we'll have 2 different pipes playing at once, an octave apart. Okay, so the swell is actually controllable by these pedals down here. We've got 2 pedals. The one on the left controls a box that can open and close the swell box, which can give you volume control. So it will either make it louder or softer. And let me see if I can slide on the bench while still holding the phone and control the swell box. If I close it completely, now I'm going to open it. You can hear how it gets louder. This pedal on the right is called the crescendo pedal, and this will turn on stops in order of softest to loudest. So if I have nothing on, I'm going to cancel everything out, cancel button, and press a key, nothing. I'll start turning on the crescendo pedal. Okay, so that's how that works. As I put that all the way open, it'll throw on every stop we've got, and it becomes very loud. Okay, some of you may have noticed that right before Mass, I'll change my shoes. It's like, so organists actually have special organ shoes. Let me take one off here. All right, so the organ shoes are actually very thin, and then on the bottom they are lined with felt, so that you're able to easily slide on the pedals. Some organists will play barefoot. I will do that or play in socks if I do not, if I didn't have time to change my shoes, or if I forgot them in my office, which has happened before. But most often organists will play in shoes. It has a very high heel that you can see that enables you to play a couple different pedals at a time, and I can't get my shoe back on. So we'll take care of that in a second. So anyway, that's a little bit about how the organ works. You can connect different manuals together. So I can throw like stops on the swell on, and then I can press this, which will send the swell, whatever is on here, will send it down to the grate manual. And then I can turn on some more stuff, more stops. And then I can even send those to the pedals as well. Okay, so that's just a little bit of how the organ works and how you play it. So now I'll just give you some afternoon meditations here on the organ. I'll kind of put this here so you can kind of see how everything goes. I'm going to get my shoe back on. But we're very blessed at St. Wendell to have this wonderful instrument. Many new churches that are being built, and by new I would say within the last 30 years, are opting to have electronic organs. So it is very, very nice that we have this beautiful instrument, a true pipe organ here at St. Wendell. Okay. So on that piece, I actually used a stop or a thing called a tremolo, which adjusts the air that goes into the pipe, and that created that undulating effect that you heard. It's an expressive thing, and that usually happens on the swell. That piece actually, if you notice, there were actually no foot pedals involved. Those are always nice. It's always nice to kind of have an easy piece given to you, although some pieces with manuals are not always extremely easy, but that one's just a nice, simple one. But that was a use of the tremolo. So this next piece is O Sacred Head, the common tune that we know, O Sacred Head Surrounded, set by Eugene Englert. Before I start the last piece, explain a little bit about the different types of pipes that an organ has. Overall, there's roughly 4 different sounds, and the main pipes, which you can usually see, of course, everyone here watching has probably seen our organ. If those who have not seen our organ, there's our organ. Okay, so those are what are called the principal pipes. Those are the loudest. Those are the ones that are usually visible. And it's a sound unique to the organ. And let me play a couple of the principal. Okay. Then we have strings. Of course, they're not actual strings, but they're made to sound like strings. And we heard a lot of that in that last piece that I used. Then, of course, we have flutes. reeds, and kind of like the same manner as an oboe or a double reed instrument, like an oboe or a bassoon. The air passes through a reed, which causes it to vibrate. There are softer reeds, and you heard that one in the last piece as well. This is our oboe stop. And then there are louder or more boisterous reeds like a trumpet. So we have many different tools in our toolkit, or different things at our disposal, as you could say. And some organs also have some percussion instruments. There's a thing called a Zimbelstern, which basically is a bunch of tiny little bells that rotate in a circle and ring and strike. You hear those. Some organs have some other functions. We have a very simple but beautiful instrument. We have just enough for what we need. Of course, the main purpose for our organ is accompanying the congregation as they sing, and ours is built very well for that. So I'll offer this last piece today called All Glory, Laud, and Honor, which of course we will sing this coming Palm Sunday. We'll have Mass at 9. I hope you'll be able to tune in for our Palm Sunday Mass. This is a setting of All Glory, Laud, and Honor. The tune name for it is St. Theodule. So let me get all of my proper stops on here. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed these meditations. We'll have adoration at 6:30 this evening, and I hope you'll be able to tune in. God bless.